Hi everyone, this is Migs from Sneaks and Ball PH, and today we have a detailed review and unboxing on the Nike Kobe 6 Protro Grinch. To start things off, I will give you a detailed review on the Nike Kobe 6 Protro in this video, but at the same time, I will be comparing them to the OG Kobe 6s. I do have an OG pair of purple gradient Kobe 6s, so we will be comparing those with the Protro since there are some noticeable differences. The Nike Kobe 6 was definitely one of the best performing shoes from the entire Kobe signature shoe line. It was a shoe that built upon the success of the Kobe 4 and the Kobe 5 and brought the low-cut, lightweight, and responsive kinds of basketball shoes to new heights. Then for this Grinch colorway specifically, it did drop around Christmas time because Kobe did debut the Grinch Kobe 6s in a Christmas game against LeBron in the Miami Heat. This is really one of the shoes that helped start that Christmas Day hype for sneakers because ever since then a lot of people started tuning into Christmas games to check out what the signature athletes such as LeBron and Kobe were wearing on foot. Then fast forward a decade later, Nike has decided to Protro the Kobe 6, which I was definitely really excited for because as I said, the Kobe 6 was one of the best basketball shoes of all time, and making a performance retro on it, meaning adding some new tech features. It also is what I would call a modern classic because it is only 10 years old, but it is forever etched in basketball footwear history. Then without taking too much longer, let's unbox the Grinch 6s. So the box on the Nike Kobe 6 Protro is pretty much the exact same one as the Kobe 5 Protro. So it's pretty clean and simple, but the box quality is good. And then time to get the shoes out. Pop the lid open, got some plain paper, and whew, I have actually unboxed them when I picked it up a week ago, and I also played with it once because I just couldn't help myself. But even though I've already technically seen my pair twice, every time I take them out and I see them, it's just super fresh and super dope, and I'm just really loving the shoe. I wasn't able to get a pair of the OGs, but I'm pretty damn happy that I got the Protros. So just putting this down for a while and getting the other shoe. Oh, and by the way, we do have the crimson laces, so I might be swapping these out soon. And just putting this down for a while as well. And here you have your right shoe. Man, and it's such a well done design. I love loud colors, so this is something that really speaks to me, and I'm definitely tempted to swap out the laces because it'll just make the colorway even more crazy and make the shoe pop even more. But anyway, just getting the other shoe. And here you have it, guys. This is the Nike Kobe 6 Protro Grinch. We will be getting into the tech specs of the shoe, but I just feel like I would want those crimson laces on here. So hang on a minute. Okay, so I have swapped out the green laces for these red ones, and I'm thankful to everyone in the Facebook group who told me to swap them out because they do look even nicer with these red laces on, and it just gives such a Christmas vibe to it. And I know it's already January, but with these kinds of shoes, I guess you can say every day is Christmas Day. So now that we have those red laces on there, it's time to get into the tech specs of the shoe. For the traction on the Nike Kobe 6 Protro, you have that signature Kobe 6 traction pattern, which do look like scales or large bubbles. I did play in these ones, so my initial impressions on the traction is that it works really well, and I felt like the traction had me covered, no problem. Nike did say that they improved the traction, but it's pretty minimal because it's pretty much the same exact pattern, and I feel like it works just as well as the original Kobe 6. And the only difference would be that the rubber grooves are just ever so slightly thicker on the Kobe 6 Protro. This really won't make much of a difference, and even though the rubber is thicker, I don't think it'll be too much more durable. So if you play primarily outdoors, the Kobe 6 Protro, just like the OG Kobe 6, probably isn't the best outdoor option. Then for the cushion, this is pretty much the most significant change between the original Kobe 6 and the Kobe 6 Protro. With the original Kobe 6, you had a zoom unit in the heel, as well as a small 4-foot Met bag that pretty much just covered the ball of your foot, and a Phylon midsole. However, what you get with the Kobe 6 Protro is a cushion setup that for me personally is just so much better than the original because you do have a full-length Cushlon midsole, as well as a Zoom Turbo Turbo unit here in the forefoot. Zoom Turbo is definitely one of my favorite implementations of Zoom Air because it keeps you low to the ground and pretty mobile and flexible while still giving you a lot of coverage in terms of impact protection and a lot of bounciness as well. Unlike the original Kobe 6, the Nike Kobe 6 Protro doesn't have any Zoom Air in the heel. However, what you have is a pretty thick slab of Cushlon in the heel, and in my opinion, it feels even smoother than the Zoom Air and Phylon combination on the original Kobe 6. Then for the materials, the main body of the shoe is made of this thin micro mesh that has those signature Kobe 6 scales on top that are made from polyurethane. The upper on the Protro still has pretty much the same construction as compared to the originals. However, I'm not sure if it's just because of age, but I do feel like the micro mesh on the originals was just a little bit thinner. But that might also be a positive thing for the Protro because that would mean that the micro mesh is a little bit more durable. There is also a slight difference with those polyurethane scales because they do seem thicker on the Protro, plus they also look like they have a protective plastic coat. The slight differences in the micro mesh and the scales actually just add to the durability of the upper, which is a plus when you consider that the upper is so lightweight and minimal. Then here at the back, you have that beefy plastic heel counter, and underneath that, the heel portion actually has this pretty interesting material because it does seem like a synthetic leather underneath. However, it has this plastic coat that gives it a pretty unique look. Then here on the tongue, just like the originals and just like the Kobe 5 Protro, you have a Nike Torch tongue. That Nike Torch tongue is composed of a thin layer of mesh over top and a soft layer of foam with hexagonal cutouts underneath. It's definitely one of the features of Nike shoes from a decade ago that I really miss in today's footwear. Then inside the shoe, you have a nice and sculpted neoprene sock liner and that signature Kobe 6 insole that was marketed to conform around your feet. The materials are definitely not premium by any stretch, but they are really comfortable. Plus, they're also very performance driven because they are very lightweight. They wrap around and move well with your foot and is also surprisingly durable. Then for fit and sizing, I did go true to size with the Nike Kobe 6 and it fit me perfectly well. With the Nike Kobe 5 Protro, it took some time for that fuse to break in and it did feel at times like it was constricting my foot. However, with the Kobe 6 Protro, since it does have a micro mesh underneath, it's quite a bit more forgiving than fuse and it really wraps around your foot nicely. I didn't feel any pain or any pinching and it was just a comfortable one-to-one fit. So my recommendation for the sizing on the Kobe 6 Protro, if you have a narrow foot or a normal width foot, you should go true to size. Then if you have a wide foot, I would recommend going up half a size because like most of Kobe's signature shoes with Nike, the Kobe 6 isn't that wide foot friendly. Then for the aesthetic details, here on the outsole, you actually have two different kinds of rubber because from the forefoot to the midfoot, it is this translucent, while in the heel, you have some solid rubber. You also have that carbon fiber midfoot shank, and then here at the heel, you have that red Kobe logo. Then here on the midsole, most of the Cushlon foam is this dark shade of green, but you also have this portion here at the heel that's a very light shade. You do have some Kobe code here on the outrigger at the forefoot, and here at the heel, you have some Zoom Air branding. Then here on the upper, you do have that micro mesh as well as those PU scales, and it does have that apple green or neon green color and a very slight light to dark gradient. You have some dark green here on the synthetic at the back, and then that heel counter is transparent with Kobe signature there in red as well. Then for the tongue, you do have some more apple green with a red Kobe logo here at the top. These did originally come out of the box with those apple green laces, but you also have these nice and Christmassy red laces. Then for the overall aesthetics on the shoe, it's just, in my opinion, an A+++ because it's nice and sleek looking. It's very unique with those snake scales and it's very Mamba-esque. You have that Grinch and Christmas theme, which is definitely very evident in the color scheme. That also makes it look pretty wild and pretty loud, which is something I'm definitely a fan of. And overall, it's just such an iconic shoe and an iconic colorway as well. I also love that even if the shoe is predominantly green, you have different shades of it, so it never really feels monotonous. It's just such a good looking shoe, and though I respect everyone's opinion, if you don't like how this shoe looks, then come fight me. Then for the price, the Nike Kobe 6 Protro retails for 8,795 pesos here in the Philippines or $180 US. I do feel like the retail price on these is just super worth it because they are cheaper than Jordan Retros, and to my generation at least, they are just as classic. Plus they are a Protro, which means that they've updated the tech specs for today's athletes. The only problem is the resellers did come in and attack these shoes, so they're pretty much sold out everywhere you look. And if you want a pair of these, you're gonna have to go to the resale market. However, what I do recommend you do is to just monitor the price and to wait it out a little bit, because I do feel like the price on these will go down a little bit on the resale market. The reason I say this is because they actually produced a lot of these, and in my opinion, everyone who actually wants to rock and play in a pair of these should have been able to get them. It's just resellers bought so many. So that's just my advice. If you want a pair and you can't find anything except on the resale market, just wait it out a bit. So there you have it, guys. That was my detailed review and unboxing on the Nike Kobe 6 Protro Grinch. If you liked the video, please make sure to leave a thumbs up down below. Then if you have any comments, questions, or any suggestions for future videos, please feel free to leave them in the comment section down below as well. Then we are very close to reaching our first 1,000 subscribers, and we do have a giveaway once we reach that magic 1K. So please make sure to join the SNBPH Sneaker Hunters Facebook group that I will link in the description box down below. Then if you haven't already yet, please make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon for notifications. It would help us out a lot here at Sneaks and Ball PH.